You guys there today? Good morning. I got Brittnee with me this morning. Hey guys, special prayer goes out to Amber, one of our favorite lenders. We have, she went out and got herself COVID. Well, what a Christmas gift. What can I say? Prayers are for her. Prayers are for Jen Shelton's husband. He got great diagnosis coming back. It's not really any of my business to tell you, but let's just tell you, he's on the mend, except for being married to Jen. We don't know anyway, but we all love that. I want to talk to you about a couple things today that are becoming really apparent. And as we get to doing business, we tend to get sloppy. And I want to talk to you about it. Aaron doesn't know that I know a couple things about it, a couple of deals he's had lately. Had a Dallas agent basically telling him how to fill out a contract, and she was wrong. So stick to your guns. You don't have to put up with rudeness. Had another agent down south being ugly to him who was inactive and was still negotiating a real estate deal. That is a major violation. We want to avoid that. So guys, start paying attention. If something doesn't sound right or doesn't feel right, start paying attention. But as you know, we've had a problem with appraisers lately, but I'm going to talk to you today about lenders. Guys, I got Brittnee here with me, and the reason I got her with me is to keep her from blowing up. Okay.
Yes.
We have a couple situations. I'm going to hit hers last. Candace just had a deal blow up because it was with Quicken Loans. Couldn't get it closed. Already extended. Wanted to extend another week, and the seller said, "You know what? I'm done. I am done." Pretty nice sale. Cost her some Christmas money. It's not a big deal. The house is going to sell. Guys, quit being lazy with your lenders. I'm going to tell you another one. Steph, who you know in here, doesn't do much. Every now and then she grabs a lead. Well, she grabbed a lead, and these folks had the mortgage house and Tyler as their lender. And right off the bat, the lender starts telling her it's in the 165, 75 range to start adding money to it, this, that, and the other. And I said, it won't appraise. And this will never close. We are 2 weeks overdue. Pardon me. We got some people that don't. And once again, it's not going to close. There's no clues where it's going to close. Now they're arguing. The appraisal comes back in at what the house should have been in the low 160s. Our comps indicated that. The lender asked us to add. Now you're not going to believe this. This is a broker, a loan broker. They're asking for the appraiser, who I know and is a good guy and normally hits things on the money or high. And I'm going to tell you that because he has a real estate license, but I trust him. Okay, and they're asking, the loan company is asking for him to justify his low appraisal because of this, because of that, this, that, and the other. They've had this appraisal in-house for over 3 weeks. We get this the week of closing. They've had the appraisal in-house for over 3 weeks and didn't look at it. Then it comes in lower than the asking price. Instead of dealing with that, now they're arguing, the buyer's lender is arguing with the appraiser over why he didn't do this. And let me tell you something, this appraiser is a good guy, but he ain't got time to mess with this crap. And that right there is the mortgage house in Tyler. And they're come from another one. They were inside of a real estate office or associated with a real estate office, changed their name. They went over there. Guys, loan brokers, here's the deal. Somebody comes to you and they already have their lender. We don't have to work with them if it's a lender we know is not going to make it to the closing table. I told Stephanie the first day she wrote this contract with this lender, I said, here's exactly what's going to happen. And she's like, how did you know? I said, I can tell you exactly. Anytime you get in the gray area, this is going to happen. It's black or white. It does or it doesn't. And now they found a reason to extend this out. They had this file 3 weeks ago. If they would have had issues with it, they would have opened the appraisal and said, whoops, we have an issue. They could have gotten with that appraiser while it was fresh on his mind. 3.5, 4 weeks later, it ain't going to happen. So these people are not going to get their home for Christmas. Candace's people didn't get to sell their home for Christmas. Now the worst one. Is it Gerard?
So it's Gerard Mortgage.
Gerard
LLC,
Mortgage out of Dallas.
But it's also his name.
Is it Eric Inge?
Eric Inge.
Eric Inge. Been in business all of February as a loan broker. So Gerard Mortgage, Eric Ingay, been in business since February, out of Dallas. Customer, this is what happens here is this deal's tied together how many times?
It's a 5-layer contingency. From the beginning, I questioned the lender. Got a really great realtor, by the way, on the line, working with this lender from the beginning.
You got good realtors all the way here,
Yes,
don't you?
I have to brag, even if they're not in our family.
Oh, no. We're proud of the good ones,
yes,
even if they're not with us.
And I would definitely advocate on both of these ladies that are helping me. Very professional, very, very, very good at what they do. But basically what it boils down to is we have been informed last minute we're supposed to close tomorrow, and there's 5 properties involved, mine starting as the sale of the first property. So I've got a buyer buying my listing, I've got my seller purchasing another home, I've got that seller purchasing another home, and I've got that seller purchasing another home, and one cannot close without the other. The final property is already moved out, paying for a temporary lease back, and had a little bit of seller's remorse when she went under contract, so it was a little bit of a shaky deal to begin with. So it was very critical in the beginning that we were asking lending questions up front. The buyers on my seller's home in the very beginning have been wonderful. They've provided the lender everything within hours of asking for it. Everybody's scheduled off work. I've got my seller completely moved out, staying on an air mattress, and was going to lease or rent a hotel this week, has already taken a week off of work. I mean, I can't even express the emotion that I feel for these families. Obviously, let's not even go into the commission involved with all the realtors and the time that we've invested in these closings. But most importantly, young children, elderly people. It's cold, it's winter, fall, rain. We've dealt with so many different elements this week, and everybody is still packaged up and ready to move. And unfortunately, we get down to Saturday, and I get a phone call that we're waiting on a verification of employment. It's not even a current employer; it is a previous employer.
How long have they had this file?
45 days. We gave them a 45-day close.
And he hadn't verified employment on a previous employer?
It gets better. They knew this going into this last week, that we were still waiting on a VOE. I call my preferred lender. Everybody knows I work with Amber closely, just because she's one of my best friends, and because of this industry has become a lifeline for me.
Well, it doesn't matter. We don't take money from anybody. We work with the people that get it done.
And I needed help. I said, help me understand some of the guidelines with USDA. And let me preface with this: Amber never slanders another realtor or another lender.
No, she won't.
But she does give me good information, and she is always quick to tell me, Britt, different companies have different policies. So while I may say this, please keep in mind that sometimes people cannot follow the same policies and procedures that I'm afforded in Finance of America. So I just asked her flat out with USDA what the turnaround time is right now, because as of Saturday, I found out the file has not even been sent to USDA.
Sure.
All because of a VOE.
Then you're 3 weeks away.
Well, she said 2 to 5 days right now is kind of the turnaround, which is decent. But here's the kicker. A lot of brokers right now, which we all know the difference between a mortgage bank and a mortgage broker.
Mortgage bank has money available. Mortgage brokers don't.
They have to sell it prior to closing.
They have to sell it prior to closing.
That's who sends the funding for closing. I could go get an MLS number right now and open up a mortgage broker office inside of this office and call myself a lender.
Apparently, that's what some of these idiots have done.
I feel like it, and the frustration that I feel for my clients is so extremely raw right now, because I don't have any answers. And I know many of you realtors up there have dealt with this, but USDA is currently out of money for the rest of the year. This is the time of year where they allocate all their money. When it runs out, they send out a notice to everybody that says, look, if you do not and cannot close your own loans, we are not funding until after the first of the year when we reallocate our budget. So guess what?
We got a mortgage broker that doesn't have any money to fund a loan.
And so unless his investor can still fund USDA loans, because mortgage banks a lot of times can still close these loans.
Yeah, they keep a reserve.
They'll keep a reserve. So even all banks can't close those loans right now. It's really a case-by-case scenario. And so we are just really on pins and needles, and all of this came with truly we vetted this lender. This lender, all he had to do was be honest and make a phone call a week ago when he knew we had stuff waiting in the pipeline.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
He could have bypassed.
Yeah.
And already sent to USDA. It could have been conditioned for the commitment, and he could have already started a prelim CD, whereas once we got the VOE, hey, we're done.
Yeah.
But he didn't, and now we're standing on...
well, it's because he's been in business since February. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Guys, I want to tell you something. Yeah. There's 5 people that are going to be out of a house for Christmas.
Yeah, and the last seller is refusing to extend past Friday, so...
I don't blame them.
Yeah, it's really...
I mean, how do you blame a seller when you chose an inferior product as a lender, for a lender, okay? I'm going to tell you that Steph's through the mortgage house is through one of our referral partners. And of course, we're going to have a nice letter written to the referral partner on how these people are not going to be in the house for Christmas because of their substandard choice as a vendor. Guys, this is Terry Miller, 3142 Park Center Drive, Tyler, Texas. 3142 Park Center Drive, Tyler, Texas, 75701. And if any of these lenders would like to have their attorney contact me, I'd be more than happy to make this a very public fight and show just how bad things are. Guys, we don't take money from anybody. You know why we use Margie and Amber and the Rawls have a relationship with a couple. Heidi has a relationship. Seth over there in Longview. We don't take money from anybody. And by not taking money from anybody, you know what the one thing they do for us is they provide the customer timely, professional service, and they get them to the closing table. This Eric Inge or whatever, his loan number is 1717876. That's a fresh one, man. Since February, he's been in business, okay? He didn't give a damn about the 5 people. He didn't give a damn. He didn't do his job up front. They've had it 45 days. Verification of an old employer should have already been done. The mortgage house has had a damned appraisal in-house for 3 weeks. And the week of closing decides, oh, we've got a problem with the appraiser. That's nice. Candace, bless her heart, they're using Quicken Loans.
Well, and the hard part, Terry, too, I mean, to be honest with you, you know.
Can't get a hold of anybody at Quicken Loans. They're all internet.
And we're in such a delicate situation where the consumers, they clickbait into some of these internet lenders, and we try our best. And I'm going to tell you, if 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have put my foot down about a lender. But in this last year, I have learned that my license, my reputation, and my client, most importantly, is worth me going to bat up front and saying, I will not work with this lender. And I feel like I have gotten enough.
Quicken Loans, who's the customer going to be mad at because they can't get a hold of anybody?
Well, and that's exactly what I told the
lender. So it
lender
comes back on a realtor.
I told the lender that over the weekend. I said, you are not the one that's standing in the field with these clients.
No, we're in the line of fire.
We are the ones who have met and built a relationship. And not that lenders don't do that, because great lenders do actually have more communication sometimes than the realtors. But in these situations, when they duck and hide, we're the ones that have these emotions and these feelings and these people in their lives that are affected. And let's not even get into the earnest money that gets jeopardized and the inspection money and the appraisal money.
Well, for instance, Steph's earnest money's gone.
Well, most of them will be because the seller doesn't have to extend.
Yours is gone because you already passed the finance days, okay? All these earnest monies are gone. Okay.
Unless the parties agree to part in good terms, and you can't bank on that.
And this Gerard Mortgage or whatever that Eric Inge's a part of, he'll go home and have a great Christmas, and 5 people are going to be sleeping on air mattresses or in a damn hotel room.
And not to mention the expenses outside of the transaction expenses, the ones like storage buildings and movers that have been paid and all the people that have been coordinated. And then you go to push a loan this late around Christmas time, you've got title companies and lending institutions and banks closed on federal holidays. Yep. So even if we get a justifiable extension, we're already out even further because of that.
You're done because next week you do business on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and the next week you do
the same thing. And so it's just extremely, this time of year, I mean, and to think that we had every duck in a row and to get at the end. I mean, Candace's poor deal. What kind of lender goes out the day before closing and says they miscalculated taxes, and now they have to change a 20% conventional to a 10% conventional and rewrite the loan? Yeah. They
did such a poor job that the day before closing, they realized they miscalculated something, like they couldn't have calculated. Every one of these loans that has gone bad, and this is just an example. I could do sheet after sheet after sheet. Every one of these loans is an example of people who aren't doing their job properly. If you had a problem with the appraiser, okay, the mortgage house, you had the damned appraisal 3 weeks before the estimated closing date, and that was last week. Okay?
Well, and I think on that one, and I don't know where this is where.
And I know the appraiser; he's a personal friend of mine. And this guy doesn't miss. He hit it right where we said.
And he said he uploaded it twice.
Yeah.
So he said he sent it 2 weeks prior to they claim they got it. I don't know where.
Oh no, it's always the excuse.
I don't know.
We didn't get it. We didn't get it. No, they got it. They're just too lazy to open a file.
At what point, Terry, are these lenders going to be held accountable for the money and the heartache they put these clients through? I mean, do you see?
We're not big enough yet, but I see a point to where we have a lawyer on retainer to help our clients, because this is ridiculous.
So many people affected.
You know, and here's the situation. We didn't pick any of these lenders. We didn't pick any of these lenders. Do you think that Margie, Amber, Seth, any of the ones that we deal with on a regular basis that we receive no money from, you think that they wouldn't have got that VON in early?
Or at least said, hey, we're having an issue. I think we
Right
might
up
could
front.
get an extension.
Not the day before closing.
And then who in our industry, I mean, I know that there probably are so many team members out there that are jumping up and down screaming, you know, preach, because how many times have we said, communicate with us, let us know, because we can handle facts. We can't stand a lender or anybody in the transaction that ducks and hides.
Well,
it does nothing for anybody.
And here's the situation on Stephen and theirs right now. They don't know. The lender can't give
Still
me
don't have an
information.
answer.
He's hiding. So, guys, my policy, and some of you guys that haven't been with us very long, is I like hands around your neck. I will go sit in an office, you've seen me do it, and go, I need an answer. I've got to have an answer for a customer. I've done that more than once. When they use an internet lender, when they use all this, they're not getting a deal, okay? Folks, we spend a lot of time, we spend a lot of money, and we spend a lot of sweat and tears with these customers. Brittnee and Stephen are sitting here with 5 customers that are going to be homeless for Christmas because of somebody that's been in the business since last February and doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. Yes, I said that. Be more than happy to talk to him one-on-one. He will not like it. This is ridiculous. Mortgage brokers, everybody thinks they can do our job. Everybody thinks they can do this. You got agents in Dallas that think they want to fill out a contract this way. I tell you how to fill out contracts. We pay the E&O around here, you and I together, okay? Guys, we don't do this. We have agents with expired license trying to sell our listings or trying to list houses. Guys, we've got to be better about this, okay? You've got to be smart. Is it a lender that you're familiar with? Now, we have one, I won't mention their name, but one really good lender, and Tyler is associated with a real estate office. So and he's a guy that if we get one in from him, we go, good, it's going to close.
I'm going to tell you, I won't drop their name either. I mean, I'm not going to refer
He's
anyone
awesome.
to them.
And he will triple his business if he ever gets out of there, okay? We have an insurance agent that once he moves out of a building he's in with a real estate company, once he moves out of there, we're going to triple his business, okay? Guilt by association, you know, we don't want any part of. Guys, we don't take any money. We don't want a RESPA violation. We don't anything. But here's the situation. The person on the front lines is you, the real estate agent. Brittnee, us. We're the ones on the front lines. We're the ones that's going to take the bullets when these guys go hide. All right? Even though we didn't pick the lender. We didn't help them pick the lender. Now, keep in mind, we're referring. Burn that in your head. Mm-hmm. We're referring a lender that we make no money on.
Yeah.
None.
And praise God for people who have good lender or good realtors involved with you, because I mean, we all know that in this industry, like anything in our world, there are unethical realtors. And
you could have a crappy realtor
like the one,
the Dream Team, like the one the Dream Team just closed at one point. You could have a crappy realtor, and this deal would have fallen apart. Yeah. But why are lenders waiting till the week of closing to get verification of employment on a past employer?
Well, and not only that,
on a past employer, it's not like they need a current update.
Yeah, and not only that, but I mean, I had the entire morning blocked off. We were simultaneous closing all day through multiple title companies. Now we've got to clear that schedule, and without further information, title could be booked. Because let's be honest, title can accommodate to a certain point, but when every closer at a title company is booked, nobody's there to clear that loan for funding. And if it doesn't get cleared for funding, it doesn't close. So now I'm pushed to my worst fear, which is a Friday closing if a miracle happens. And I hate closing on Fridays. With simultaneous closes, they're not going to get funding.
It's a disaster. That's why I always schedule my closing for Wednesdays. That way, if anything could go wrong, you had 2 days left in a week, and somebody wasn't sitting in a parking lot with a U-Haul.
Because Friday by 2 p.m. if those wires don't go out, they're hung up all weekend.
We found out later that this Eric Inge guy with Gerard Mortgage is also a real estate agent. So your competition is working a loan on one of your dang houses.
Which a lot of mortgage companies will and same with title. You can't be an escrow officer and an agent. It's a conflict of interest. Most mortgage companies will require that you go inactive as a realtor.
Yeah.
But he owns his own
But
brokerage.
here's the deal.
So,
I don't have a problem with him being that if he discloses it up front, but he didn't. He didn't even disclose it up front. We had to look up his number. So, guys, we got situations here. We've got two where the mortgage broker is going to leave 5 families. 5 families.
2 that are elderly, 1 that has a child, young children.
Okay. Homeless for Christmas. We have one here, the mortgage house here in Tyler, which is a loan broker, just like the first one. Okay. That deal's dead. I'm just going to tell you. If that deal by some miraculous way gets saved, it'll be a miracle. Okay. And then we have Quicken Loans, who's invisible. You know, you can't. Who are you going to get a hold of? Okay. Who's going to get pissed about this one? Okay. And you have a seller, and I love Candace, and Candace did the best she can. She didn't have the buyer on this, so. And apparently the other agent's a very good agent. The other agent was doing everything they could to make this deal work. So this is one right up front that I would have told the seller it's coming with Quicken Loans. You be prepared to extend multiple times, or we can come back and say we'd be happier if they got a local lender. Okay? Because the situation is, and just, you know, I got to tell you guys, all right, refer your people to people that get it done. I'm not interested if they take me to lunch. I'm not interested in a damn birthday cake they bring in for the month of August or December. I'm not interested in taking money from 6 or 7 home warranty companies or having a lender named after my damn company that looks at all the files and says, why didn't we get a look at that? I'm not interested in $250 a file on the backside because we pushed or pimped their lender. I'm not interested in that. That's criminal. It doesn't get it done. And we're at Miller Homes Group, we're all about one thing. Getting you to the closing table, getting the customers happy. And guess what happens when we do that? We get paid.
And we get happy referrals.
We get happy referrals. You think anybody, 5, 6, 7, you think anybody in these 7 deals are going to give anybody a referral?
I would hope that no, not on that, especially not that mortgage company.
We might get one by accident if they're not so damn mad.
Thankfully, I've got a really wonderful client that, you know, is level-headed, and, you know, thankfully majority of the clients are, but at the end of the day, when you've got that many layers, all it takes is one client to twist off and say no. And that's all it takes. And so, and rightfully so. You know, everybody processes emotions differently, and that one at the very end can cause the domino to roll backwards. And
I'm in real estate with you, and so, but let me tell you, negotiating with me, if you're buying my house, you get 1 extension for a week. After that, I'm keeping it. Yeah. Here's the deal.
We're seeing it more right now than ever. Sellers saying no.
We have a contract, and we do. We have sellers just saying no.
The market's too good. It's too good. There's too many buyers.
Yeah, there's too many buyers out there. They can put it back on the market, and if you're the listing agent, you should be responsible enough to say, I don't trust this lender. It's up to you. It is your decision. But if we go forward from here, be prepared to extend a couple of times because this lender has a reputation. Right. I told Stephanie that the mortgage house would never, the way they were wanting the loan structured up front, because we pulled the comps on the house and it came out as to where the appraisal came out. The appraiser did his job. Okay. I told Stephanie that would not close. And right now, folks, I'm clearing my throat getting ready to sing, Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way, because I was right. I've been in this business a long time, and 99 times out of 100 when I say it won't close, it doesn't. Guys, this is a very simple business. Yeah. You can tell when a lender doesn't know what they're doing, okay? It's obvious that this Gerard Mortgage doesn't. It's obvious that the mortgage house, these loan brokers, are having problems getting stuff bought here at the end of the year. I don't know what's going on, and to be quite frank with you, I don't give a damn.
Yeah,
I just don't care.
Well, with COVID, so many guidelines changed, and the investors that are coming in for these brokers, I think they're having a harder time brokering out these loans that prior to COVID, maybe they had a little bit more flexibility. And at the end of the day, I'm not saying that all mortgage brokers are bad, because I do know some that I do like. However,
I ain't dealing with them.
I've had a hard time, and I've had a really difficult time with. I know so many of our agents have had deals blow up this year that should have, could have, or would have been saved prior to, because I feel like our market is inundated with new realtors wanting to come in. They see that it's a record time to be in real estate, so they think, I'm going to go get my real estate license. Well, I feel like there's a lot of lenders doing the same thing.
Oh, it's happening.
And I feel like the consumer is paying the price. And so, if a consumer is watching this, I would say fully vet your realtor, fully question about lending. If it's an internet lender, steer clear. If it's a local lender, ask your trusted realtor their opinion. And if you're a realtor, be willing to ask the really hard questions. And if you don't know the hard questions,
and
ask. I will be glad to help you.
And stay away from loan brokers.
Because
they're too volatile. Loan brokers are too volatile. Okay, they don't have a bank they can go back and say, you know what, we're going to buy up 10 or 12 USDAs, and when they start funding in January, they'll be sitting there, and they can fund us over the next 60 days.
Well, can you imagine these lenders that are all ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
And we're all waiting on a lender that can't.
One thing's for sure, I will tell you, these lender brokers, apparently they do a hell of a good job of marketing. I don't know where they're getting their money, because they don't do a good job of closing this stuff. Now, enough of that. Christmas party's coming up this Saturday. We're going to have a few people there. We're going to stream it live on the Mevo, so I apologize in advance for maybe the sound quality. We're just going to put the Mevo and the iPad over in the corner. We'll let you guys kind of see it. There's a few people that can't make it. Amber obviously is not going to make it. We're busy scratching her name off trophies and stuff as it stands right now. So sorry, Amber, man, must be president to win. So anyway, but we want everybody to be there that can be there. If you feel your health may be compromised, please don't. We are going to, I respect COVID and I respect the disease a great deal, but we are going to have a family get together and take the chance. It is, we've had a wonderful year. We did 400 million, as you know, and crossed over $1 billion in sales. We're at 1.2 billion now, so we got a heck of a head start on the other. So, if with a little bit of luck, we've added some new agents. We're adding new agents. Our goal was to get it around 100 by the end of the year. We're going to be really close. I think next year is going to be a good moving year for us. Making videos like this, as you know, MHG Life, we're bringing that on. You're going to have a YouTube channel, a website. Going to develop some leads that'll be distributed and stuff like that. And they'll be distributed geographically to those that are in certain areas, but there won't be very many of them. But what we want to do is we want to inform the public on what they're doing, and what's more important. This video today was brass tacks, straight up. Forgive me for my language, but it was straight up. I hope the retail buying public sees this and understands the mistakes they can make. It doesn't matter if someone promises you an 1/8 of a point lower on an interest rate if you can't get the loan. If you're using it to buy a house, well, they gave me this. Yes, they did, but they're not going to close, okay? That's like your kid promising you he won't get in the cookie jar again.
Or not disclosing discount points. That's a huge thing I've seen recently.
Not disclosing discount point, not disclosing your realtor on the deal. When I'm a real estate now, I'm a real estate broker. When I look at a deal up front and say, Steph, this isn't going to work, the appraisal's going to, I'm going to tell you, this deal's it's too ugly right from the start. And she comes back to me and goes, how did you know? Okay? If your gut tells you no, get away from it, because the person that's going to end up taking the slings, the arrows, the bullets is us. Yeah, everybody else is going to go hide. And they're going to have an excuse. Okay? Everybody's got an excuse. Well, let me tell you what it boils down to with me. Save your damned excuses. You've got people homeless because you didn't do your job. That's it.
I don't know about you, but I couldn't lay my head down at night and feel good about myself knowing that I didn't do the right thing. I think too, the biggest thing that I've learned is, and you've said it 100 times, we all know that we're going to have delays. We all know that there's going to be mistakes.
They're inherent to the business right now.
But be honest. Let us know what's going on so that we all can be, clear on what's going on, instead of everybody thinking everything's great and then you just drop a hammer at the last second and everybody loses confidence in your ability to get it to the table.
Do your job when you can, when something comes in. If you got the appraisal in 3 or 4 weeks ago, all right, then open the appraisal up and say we have a problem, address it then. If you need a VOE of an employee, of a previous employer, to verify the income of a previous employer, why do you wait till the week of closing?
Well, and I know, like, in the past, we've had some VOEs take some time, and this particular
Sure.
one, I believe, was requested 3 weeks ago. It's a company that, because of COVID, everybody's working from home, and so they're email only.
So nobody made a phone call or made a bunch of emails? Or
From the last I heard, it was everything had to be done via email, and had we known that this was still an issue, the buyer's already asked, where's the tracking number? Supposedly the VOE went out via UPS last week.
Gee, the lender couldn't took it.
But the lender could have conditioned it for funding, or asked the investor, hey, can we go ahead and send this to USDA to get the commitment now with a condition?
Why couldn't the lender just say we need the W-2s from that year?
There's workarounds, and that's kind of the thing. Like, most good realtors know that part of our industry is innovation. We have to get very innovative sometimes in order to get a deal done. And if you get a lender that can't think outside the box, it's a lost cause.
Well, and
very few fit inside the box.
Yeah, you have to think outside the box, and then you have to know where your limitations are, and you got to know what works. You can't just, a house that's going to appraise for 162 to 165. You can't run the thing up over 170 and then try to beat the hell out of the appraiser. Right. The comps we pulled supported that, and then the lender says add more on top, it'll be fine. Well, no, it's not fine. It's not going to close. These people are going to be homeless.
Well, I mean, isn't that why we have laws in place that
we have laws in place?
I mean, we don't want to oversell properties. That became an issue in the housing crisis. So let's not do that.
And and then you got agents that are inactive trying to sell stuff, and we're not talking inactive because their education's not caught up to COVID. Now there's some stuff that's done that the state did, extended out some education for COVID. We understand that. This guy's education was caught up. He was just inactive. And so, as we begin to go further, and as we begin to do more in this new year, you're gonna have to watch stuff. Some people taking advantage of stuff, but guys, I'm just gonna give you some advice. Stay away from a loan broker. I'm sorry. I want to do business with loan bankers. We want to do business with people who get to the closing table. Now, that doesn't mean it's some of our best lenders. When I get a call from Amber or Margie or whatever, it might be a Tuesday, and they say, hey, glad you had the closing schedule for a Wednesday. We're going to have to extend to Thursday or Friday instead of Friday to a Monday or Tuesday. Okay?
Well, hey, we can't close, and here's the resolution.
And here's the resolution.
Not just bad news with no, because nobody wants to get double bad news, which is here's bad news with no information.
Right. It went to underwriting. We got this in. It'll pop out of underwriting. The title company's saying it may, so we may have to extend it a day. We may have to expand. To me, that's wonderful. That's part of today's business.
Yeah.
Because they did all the stuff they could. Because maybe the buyer tried to hide something and it got done. Okay.
Because we all know buyers are liars.
I love it, Amber. You don't need a VOE to match the W-2 for USDA loans. However, in case you,
let me go to mine.
Where did she go?
Where did that go? Let me go back and see if I can find it. Hang on one second. I'm probably gonna have this on here.
I love my Amber. We got Amber.
You do not need VOE to match the W-2 for USDA loans. However, in this case, USDA issues the commitment, not the investor. So send as is with VOE as a trailing document. On the plus side, we are now electronically collecting VOEs at application as of this week. Just saying. I love you.
So guys, there's an example of a guy didn't know what the hell's going on. He's not up to date with stuff. Okay? Didn't even need it to send it over. So he didn't know what he was doing. All right? So we got this guy in Dallas that decides, I want to be a lender. It's a quick and easy way to make some money. And, it's amazing. I love you, Amber. Amber's got COVID. So, it's real fun calling her right now. I'm telling you. So 1-900-LOAN. No, I'm kidding with you. She's doing well. And her young son has it as well. So everybody's in quarantine. We want you guys to understand that we treat the people we refer like family. And her and Cody over there, we got, we have Seth over in Longview, we have Margie. We're just having a lot of fun with our family members. And trust me, there's times that Amber and Seth and all of us have had serious conversations about a file.
Absolutely.
But you know what? You know what I can say about them?
They don't hide.
They didn't hide.
They don't hide.
They stood right there and went,
They own
okay,
it.
let me tell you about this deal. And that's what we're looking.
Yes.
We're not trying to avoid bad news. Okay? It's inevitable in this business.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is, I don't care if there's bad news. Come with a solution.
Yes, please. Even if it's bad news that the solution is 2 weeks out, at least we know. Because when a seller comes up to, I don't want to extend because I don't know when we're extending and I've lost all confidence in this lender.
Yeah.
Then now all of a sudden everybody could literally blow a deal up and it could have closed the following week, but nobody has confidence in anything.
If you come to me and I'm the seller and you say we need to extend, when to? Well, Friday, maybe Monday. What?
Yeah. Or say, hey,
You know?
we could probably close it by Friday, but let's extend it to Monday to be safe.
Yeah,
I'll give you
always
better
give it a day or
information
two.
as soon as we
Yeah.
get closer to closing. If the
Yeah.
docs can go out on time, if
Been-
we meet all conditions
It's
on
been
time.
an interesting year. I mean, we had a $1.3 million house that the selling agent, the sellers had COVID, and the selling agent tried to bring them to closing.
There's not enough massages and
Honest to
psychology
God,
in the world.
tried to bring them to closing, and the only reason we found out they have COVID is because we asked to change times. The buyer asked to change times, and the selling agent was such a shit. Okay, she said, "I'm not going to bother them with that. They're not feeling well right now." Well, we didn't know if that's sinus or whatever. So the buyer, unbeknownst to us, picks up the phone and calls the seller, and the seller says, "We have COVID." They were going to take those papers, sign those papers, hand them back to the title company, and then hand them to the buyer.
There's not, as like I said,
And the agent knew they had COVID.
there's not enough massage therapy in the world to get the knots out that are caused by those. I just don't get it.
And I love her broker, but guys, I've recruited in my lifetime over 500 agents. I've only ever asked about 15 or 16 to leave, and it was all over ethical reasons. But that right there would get your ass fired.
I wouldn't hold somebody's license.
Yeah, you got to
business
go
like that.
if you're going to endanger somebody like that. $1.3 million house, and they fixing to give everybody COVID.
Well, and unfortunately, we see too many realtors let it be about the commission and not about the client.
Well,
I
it's
think
always, let me tell you something, guys. It's always about the client. It's always about getting the client the best possible services possible. Help them, refer to them the best lender, refer to them the great title companies, and we do have some great ones. Sometimes they drop the ball. We know it. But we have the ones that if they drop the ball, you can call them and go, you dropped the ball, and they're going to go, oops, and they're going to pick it up.
That's right.
Okay? All right.
Absolutely.
Refer them good home warranty companies because we don't take money from any of them. We have no vested interest other than their well-being. And when you do that, guess what happens? You get paid. And you get paid well if you do it enough. And success leaves clues. And I have to tell you, I'm the fighter and I love getting out there and mixing it up a little bit. But, you know, some of our top realtors, they go with the flow. They do the very best for their customers. And I just want to sell them hair dye because they're doing everything.
The gray hairs
I'm
are
telling you,
there,
man,
trust
they're
me.
doing everything they can.
Oh,
you're going to
goodness.
see at the awards this year. We've had some that have excelled. We grew as a company tremendously this year. I hesitate to think that if our governor hadn't messed up a couple of times, how much more we could have grown. And
Yeah.
with the agents we're talking to for next year and the things we have in place for next year, we may have to move our Christmas party to
A bigger venue.
yeah, we might have to rent the hall downtown or something. Guys, do what's right, bring what's right to the party for your buyer or your seller. Okay, honesty wins the day, and when it's all said and done, you get paid. Works, doesn't it?
Win-win.
It's a win-win. Amber, get better. I want you to get better out there. We want to do what we can to pray for them. We've had some folks that have been sick here recently. We want to get them done. Special prayer for Amy Garcia's dad. He's got some diabetic issues. I want to pray for that guy. Dude has got a lot on his plate, and he's going to be fine. Jen Shelton's husband, this dude is a superstar, and he's coming through with flying colors. And you'll see him at the Christmas party, I think. We've got some people out there that have had extraordinary years through extraordinary problems. I mean, God, how many we had? TJ had COVID. We lost one that left us, and he retired and then passed away from COVID. We lost a couple of realtors last year, one due to heart issues and then one due to COVID that had been with us. So guys, we take this disease very seriously, but we don't live in fear. We live in hope. That's what we do at Morton Group. We live in hope. We don't live in fear. So we want you guys to do what's best for your family. Take care of those. Do what's right for your customer. Take your customer the tools they need to make informed decisions, purchase or sell a house, because we're not invested anyway financially. Makes it pretty easy, okay? And let's get it done. Stay away from these loan brokers, okay? I named names today, and the reason I named names today, okay, was because these people were so bad we don't need them in our business, okay? I want everyone to understand this will be the year that I name names, okay? I'm tired. I am so tired of people getting out there, taking advantage of people, and there being no cause for it, okay? We don't have the money to sue them all, but by God, we can get on the public and get after them, and I intend to, okay? This guy in Dallas doesn't need to be in the damn loan business, okay? These people in Tyler, I knew this deal was hinky from the very first start, and sure enough, this damn thing is blowing up like Mount Vesuvius. So we have got to look up, we've got to make good advice, give good advice to our sellers and buyers. It ultimately is their decision. Don't want anybody saying we're not giving them a choice. We are giving them a choice, but we also have a choice of, A, do we work with them, or do we advise our seller that this will not close on time? Guys, use the knowledge that you have available to you. Brittnee and I want you to do that, okay? I brought her in here today because we're going to do more of this. You're going to see more of her doing this and me not in here. You're going to see Brittnee in here. You're going to see a lot of stuff. As we begin to go with MHG Life, we're going to expand this out. See that? Over there. Right there. As we begin to grow with MHG Life, you're going to see more and more things come about. We have 3 episodes coming up of the happy hour. We're going to try to film one between Christmas and New Year's, or maybe even next week or whatever. We're going to try to film one. We're going to keep them smaller, more condensed. We had a real good deal when we went in and did the deal for the affordable housing. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to do 2 in a sitting environment, and then I'm going to try to do 1 where we're out in the field someplace. So if you have ideas, let Brittnee or I know, because these are situations that, now, some of you will be invited to, not disrespectful if I don't invite you to be in a video, okay? Some of you will be invited, but some of it is, I get a wild hair and decide, let's go do it.
Pretty much.
So I grab whoever and embarrass them, okay? And and I'm trying to lose weight. I know I look bad on camera, but we want everybody to do the things to have a good holiday and take care of their customers. We're sitting here right now, and we're going to have 7 families that don't have a home at Christmas, and it was because not us, not the other agents. The other agents are good agents.
Great agents.
Great agents. They're not with us. That's a shame. But we're sitting here, and you're going to have families that have a miserable Christmas because somebody didn't do their job. It's unacceptable.
Completely unacceptable.
God bless. See you Saturday on the 19th. Let's have a little fun, okay?
Bye.
Bye.